We are back with Dr. James Merritt, working our way through the biblical book of Psalms. Today our focus is Psalm 52, where David is being pursued rather unjustly by King Saul, and he cries out to God in his despair. Dr. Merritt, we go through these tough times so many times. What can we learn from the Psalm?
Yeah, you know, there's nothing like being miserable, and for whatever the reason. It's very interesting. Here in the United States, there was a fellow back in the 1960s as an economist, and he came up with what he called the misery index. And he said the misery index is simply a combination of the unemployment rate tied to the inflation rate. Well, we all have our own misery index, and it's a combination of our circumstances and our attitude toward those circumstances. And so when you go through those times when for whatever the reason you are miserable, and we all go through it, the fact of the matter is not every day's a sunny day. And things don't always go our way, and the investments don't always work out, and the stock market doesn't always go up, and the doctor's report doesn't always come back that good. And so we find ourselves in misery. And what I have learned is that when you do that, that's when you, and so many people do the opposite. They run from God. That's the time you need to run to God. Because there's two things that happen when you're miserable. Number one, you'll have fear. Well, what you need to do is replace fear with faith. If God can do anything, and if God loves you, and if God cares for you, and if God always wants what's best for you, then you don't need to fear. There's a great verse in the Psalms that says, I will not be afraid of bad news because my trust is in the Lord. But then we not only get fearful, when we're fearful, we get anxious. Well, you can replace fear with faith, and you can replace anxiety with assurance. Because fear is fear of the unknown, what you don't know. Assurance is when you live based on what you do know. And no matter what's happening in the world right now, here's what I do know. There's a God who created me, who made me very special, who loved me so much he sent Jesus to die for me, who wants to be in charge of my life right now, who is working everything out for my good and for his glory. And if that is true, I don't have to wallow in misery. I can walk in victory.
That is so good, and good to remember, because sometimes you're right, we run away from God because we blame him. But if we know that he is good and he is for us, then we can walk through that in confidence. All of this wisdom is in your book that you just wrote, 52 Weeks Through the Psalms. Yeah,
it comes right out of the Psalms. It's a book that we would love to send for your for your gift to this ministry, this great ministry. Let us send it to you today.
Thanks so much, Dr. Merritt. If you want to get your copy, that's 1-800-265-3100. You can also go to crossroads.ca.
From James Merritt comes an insightful, inspiring, and comforting journey through the Psalms.
James, we are so excited that you've partnered with Crossroads to offer your new book, 52 Weeks Through the Psalms.
Well, I'm honored to be with you as always, and this book is fascinating because in it, you're going to learn how to understand about the provision and the power of God. You're going to learn how to trust in the approachable presence of God, and most of all, you're going to be able to grow in your joyful response of God. We're going to have a great time.
As you begin a new year, Crossroads encourages you to embark on weekly readings in the Psalms. To make it easy and most meaningful, we'd like to give you a complimentary copy of this new book, 52 Weeks Through the Psalms, when you make your January gift to support 100 Huntley Street and Crossroads' unique media mission. We're waiting to hear from you, so call now, 1-800-265-3100, or make your donation at crossroads.ca/donate.
I just love that quote there from Dr. Merritt is, because we always worry about bad news coming down the line, but we have to have assurance in God. If everything is going good, I'm fine. But it can't be found in that.
Or in those hard times in life, just knowing that God's going to work it for your good. Just hang in there, right? And Maggie, you and I have seen that personally. We've shared things over the years,
Absolutely.
right?
And it all boils down to trust, right? When we trust that God, and that's what Dr. Merritt was talking about, when we trust that God has our best intentions at heart, everything can go the way it wants to go because we know he has it under control.
We hope you order that book. A lot of wisdom in there. You're going to love it. Please give us a call. And I just got to mention Robbie's segment, which was awesome, by the way. That was my mom's honey. My mom's a beekeeper. And when he went to throw that, did your heart
we all were just gasping.
I'm like, I was waiting for the crash.
I ate half a jar in my hotel room last night. It's good honey.
My mama's, she's a talented woman. I'm not biased or anything, but that honey is great.
What did you think of seeing your portrait?
You know, honestly, it's a little awkward. Like, I feel a little exposed, actually, but they did a beautiful job, and I love my parents. I cried.
Thank you for allowing us into your life a little today.
Thanks for all the kind things you guys said about me. I'll give you the money later.
And thank you for allowing us into your life today. Have a great day.
See
Have
ya.
a great weekend.
See ya.
It's
Monday.
Friday.
Right on.
Woo!
Friday!
Thank you for your ongoing support of Crossroads, a member of the Canadian Council of Christian Charities. You can write to Crossroads, P.O. Box 5100, Burlington, Ontario, L7R 4M2.
I looked, and there before me was a great multitude that no one could count, from every nation, tribe, people, and language, standing before the throne and before the Lamb.